Hello, my friend. Hello, my friend. Good evening, good morning, wherever you are. My name is Claire, and my goal is to teach you French with a smile. So, what is the purpose of these live streams? The purpose is for me to answer your questions about French language. Maybe you have some issues with conjugation or grammar, whatever. Maybe you want to know more about tips when you want to learn French or any other foreign languages, by the way. So I'm very happy to answer you. You can submit your question during this live stream. You can also go to the website. The website is frenchwithasmile.net. If you go there, you scroll down a little bit and you're going to have a form, a contact form. You can use it to submit your question and your message will not appear on the website, all right? The form is a way to make sure you have a serious question and it will go directly into my inbox. All right. So usually when I do these live streams, I do beginners, little tips and vocabulary and phrases. Today I thought we would do something different, a little bit intermediate, advanced, with two themes, two things that I want to highlight this evening. The first one is about colors in French. So not naming the colors. This is not a beginner lesson, but colors when they are adjectives. And the second one is about when you have a participe passé with the auxiliary to have, and you have to take into account the gender and the number of the subject. Very weird, I know, because usually it is when the auxiliary is to be. So we are going to dive into that. First, colors, adjectives to precise the color of something. These are pink flowers, these are red chairs, whatever, when the color is an adjective. I know it is such a tricky subject because sometimes you have to take into account the gender and the number of the noun to which the adjective relates. But someone, you shouldn't take that into account, and the color adjective is the same for feminine, for masculine, for singular, for plural. So this is a very tricky thing. I'm going to copy and paste the rule, the grammar rule in French. So you have an additional exercise, understanding the rule in French. Let's copy and paste it. So, okay, it's too long for 2 comments, so I'm going to split it. Okay. Still too long. So I'm going to explain. Let's put the core of the rule. Okay, this is the core. L'adjectif de couleur s'accorde en genre et en nombre lorsque la couleur est exprimée par un seul adjectif qui désigne uniquement une couleur et non une chose à l'origine de la couleur. L'adjectif de couleur s'accorde en genre et en nombre lorsque la couleur est exprimée par un seul adjectif qui désigne uniquement une couleur et non une chose à l'origine de la couleur. The color adjective takes into account the gender and the number of the noun. When the color is expressed by one single adjective, which refers only to a color and not to a thing, which is the origin of the color. What does that mean? Sometimes we use things to express colors. For instance, the color can be a flower. The color pink, rose, it's actually also a noun. Une rose. Une rose is a flower. And rose is the adjective. Another example. Une orange and the adjective orange. Une orange is a noun. The color adjective is orange. Sometimes it is a stone like amethyst or ruby. Ruby. So un ruby, it's a jewel, red, and ruby, it's also a color, of course. Un rubis, rubis. Un rubis est une pierre précieuse. Rubis est un adjectif de couleur. Sometimes the color adjective is a stone, a fruit, a flower, something else. When it is something else, it never takes into account the gender and the number of the noun. So if I want to say 2 orange chairs, this is feminine, chaise, and this is plural. This is how I'm going to write it. 2 chaises orange. 2 chaises orange. I'm not going to put an S because orange is also a fruit. 2 chaises orange. If they are not orange, if they are green. 2 chaises vertes. So this time, there is a E for the feminine, and there is a S for the plural. 2 chaises vertes. All right? You got that? Now wait for it. There is another thing to know. Very important. So, the grammar rule in French for you, my friend. Si la couleur est exprimée par 2 adjectifs, aucun des 2 adjectifs ne s'accorde. Si la couleur est exprimée par 2 adjectifs, aucun des 2 adjectifs ne s'accorde. For instance, light blue, dark gray, light green, dark green, all of that. When you have 2 adjectives, you do not take into account the number and the gender of the noun. For instance, des feuilles vert foncé. Dark green leaves. Des feuilles vert foncé. Des feuilles vert foncé. I do not take into account the fact that feuille is actually feminine and plural because the color adjective are actually adjectives. There are 2. All right. This is the first thing I wanted to talk to you about, my friend. The second thing is another very weird thing. This is an exception. You know that when we use the passé composé, we are either going to use the auxiliary to have, avoir, or the auxiliary to be, être. And the participe passé is going to take into account the gender and the number of the subject only when the auxiliary is to be. For instance, I went to the cinema, the movies. I went to the movies. Je suis allée au cinéma. Je suis allée au cinéma. Passé composé. Auxiliaire être. I am talking as a woman. This is feminine. I'm adding an E to the participe passé. If I was a man, I would say je suis allé without an E at the participe passé. So auxiliary to be, the participe passé has to take into account the number and the gender of the subject. Feminine, masculine, singular, plural. All right. Now, when we have a participe passé with the auxiliary, to have avoir. For instance, j'ai mangé des fraises. I have eaten strawberries. J'ai mangé des fraises. The auxiliary is to have, j'ai, and the participe passé is manger. J'ai mangé des fraises. So I'm not going to change manger, whether I am a man or a woman, whether it is singular or plural. If it is plural, we have eaten strawberries. Nous avons mangé des fraises. Manger, the participe passé, remains the same. Nous avons mangé des fraises. Okay. So I'm sure that by now you are saying, okay, I know that. This is obvious. I know the rule. Now, if I ask you to translate, the strawberries I have eaten were delicious. How do you translate that? The strawberries I have eaten were delicious. This is better. My friend, this is how you write it. This is how you translate it. Les fraises que j'ai mangées étaient délicieuses. Encore une fois. Les fraises que j'ai mangées étaient délicieuses. What is that? How come the participe passé is in the feminine and plural form? Feminine with an additional E and plural with an S. Because, my friend, we took the complement, j'ai mangé des fraises, and we put it before the subject. J'ai mangé. We swap the complement and the subject verb. Instead of having subject, verb, complement, we have now complement first, then subject, then verb. Les fraises que j'ai mangées. This is why, and this is an exception, this is not the rule, this is an exception to the rule. The participe passé, even though the auxiliary is to have avoir, even though the participe passé is going to take into account the number and gender of the complement of fraise. It is a complement that matters here. It is les fraises, feminine plural. Les fraises que j'ai mangées étaient délicieuses. Another example for you, my friend, with masculine plural. J'ai lu des livres cette année. So, this year, I've read some books. J'ai lu des livres cette année. J'ai lu, auxiliary to have, lu is the participe passé, it is the same. J'ai lu, tu as lu, il a lu, nous avons lu, vous avez lu, ils ont lu. It remains the same. Now, take the complement, des livres, take that, and put it before the subject and the verb. Des livres or les livres. The books I read this year were compelling. Les livres que j'ai lus cette année étaient captivants. Encore une fois. Les livres que j'ai lus cette année étaient captivants. So, lu, participe passé. How come there is an S? Because it relates to the complement which we put before the subject and the verb. Les livres is masculine and plural. So, lu is going to be with the masculine and the plural form. If it was not les livres, but les nouvelles. Les nouvelles que j'ai lues. This is how it would be. Les nouvelles que j'ai lues. This time it is feminine and it is plural. Les livres que j'ai lus, les nouvelles que j'ai lues. Excellent. So nouvelle, this is a literary style when it's a short story. Short stories, the short stories I read. Excellent. My friend, I am here for you. So if you want your question to be answered next time, next week, please submit it to me. Once again, the website is frenchwithasmile.net. Thank you so much. Keep practicing. I have 2 video lessons per week. I have 3 categories, beginner, intermediate, and advanced for you. And of course, I am available for one-to-one lessons on Preply. Preply, and the link is on the website. And I'm going to add it for you. I'm going to add it now. Preply is a platform where you can learn so many languages. So if it's not French, it can be another one, but this is a very, very valuable and interesting platform. It makes learning languages very easy. So this is what I use to teach French. Have a look, book a lesson with me, with another teacher, in any language you want. I teach French because this is my native language, but feel free to learn any language you want. This is so fun. Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup, and see you very soon in French with a smile. Bye-bye.